Welcome, 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 everybody. I'm super excited today to be joined by my good friend, Crypto Kong. We're going to be chatting all about big time. What does the economy look like? You guys saw some of the prize pool that's just up there right now. It's absolutely going crazy right now. The Web3 gaming space is on fire. So many games coming out. We got Illuvium, we got Big Time, we got Heroes of Mavia, we obviously got the DFK in the background too, DeFi Kingdoms Void Hunts coming out. But before we get into today's episode, Kong, for those of people that don't know you, my brother, give them a little overview of what you're doing there. What's going on, man?
Sure. Yeah. So been in the crypto space for about 4 years now. Have always had a really big love for the gaming side of things. And, once we were able to own our assets in video games and in this space, it just continued to pull me in. Here we are 3 years later, obviously a big part of the DeFi Kingdoms community, but I also like playing other things and, trying to get into other communities as well. So, one of the reasons we're here today.
Definitely, definitely. So much going on. I'm also going to do a couple things during this video, guys, so you can watch the entire thing through. We're going to do an intro for newbies because I'm a complete noob to big time. So we'll do that. It's a quick little 5-minute video. I'll also put the link down below to give them credit. I saw this just come out a couple days ago, and I'm just so new to big time. I just didn't know where to start and what to do. I saw Kong and Grady's video about 3 months ago when the whole beta was starting up and what's going on. And big time, you guys is still in beta, so it's not too late to get involved with this. We'll go through some of the rental prices, what you can expect to get when you're crafting items and when you're doing things inside the game. Is it worth it? Is it worth your time? Can you make some money from it? Yeah, you definitely can. And this, again, is still just the beta. I mean, they've got over 330,000 people in their Discord, and the game hasn't even really opened up yet. So I'm excited about that. At the end, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on. We've got Influencer Fight Club coming up. We've got Crypto Grady headed down to Mexico. Kong's going to be going down there with him, and we got all kinds of other stuff happening, man. I thought we'd go into a little quick share what's happening right now. The best place to find this man right here, Crypto Kong, is on Twitter, Crypto Kong11. Got everything happening right now when it comes to the crypto gaming space. What's exciting to you right now, other than what's happening with Big Time? What are some of the cool happenings that you have coming up on the horizon?
Wow. I mean, so much going on, KP, between, what I'm doing in a few different games that I'm in, always right on Grady's side in regard to everything he's doing. Really pumped for this event. There you go in Mexico City on the 23rd, the IFC and the Karate Combat 44. So I'm going to be jetting across the Gulf of Mexico to Mexico City in about 10 days to be in our guy's corner and cheer him on and make sure he knocks Eric Veely out, baby.
Yeah, baby. Go get him. Definitely. That's going to be awesome. Big Time. I was just going out there checking them out because I haven't done a whole lot of research myself. Look at that, guys. 285,000 followers on Twitter. Well, what's now called X, but preseason is live. We're still in preseason. Kong, do you know when they're going to come out of preseason? When is Big Time actually going to go live and be the game that's, everybody's out there playing? It seems like so many people are playing right now and making a decent amount of money from it. But do you know when preseason's going to be done?
So that is the big question. I'm sure they've really tight-lipped about that because the community, of course, wants to know as well. So basically, what's happened is, this alpha came out at the same about the same time as this token drop, which was 3 months ago, as you said, when Grady and I were on stream talking about it. I don't know if you remember, but that was kind of similar to what we've seen from Mavia on their token drop. Huge release, a lot of euphoria around it. So what they did to give the token utility, and I really love this, they came out with this leaderboard system. So every 2 months they have a new leaderboard. We're currently in the third leaderboard. And what that does is you get points on that leaderboard for the items you do in game, whether it be running dungeons or crafting, cosmetics or hourglasses. And every task that you complete, you get these points. Those leaderboard points go towards a purse of Big Time at the end of the season. I'm sure you saw that in the intro, everybody. But yeah, I mean, 1 million Big Time for first place. I think second through fifth place are 300,000 Big Time, and then it tiers down from there. So There's a huge use for the token right now because people have to use a token in game to get on that leaderboard and to work their way up. So that's really been the big focus. Is we're on leaderboard 3 right now. The other 2 have already completed, but everybody's got their fingers crossed to when the big launch is going to be. Is it going to be after this leaderboard 3 here at the end of March, or what's next? I got a feeling that we're getting close.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like and it looks like from the launch of the token, you guys can see right there, it had its little run up here, got up to almost $1.90 or so, then started to make a little consolidation move back down here. But it seems like there's a pretty good support level right around here, this 30-cent mark. It's at 33 cents right now. What do you feel? Is the community behind accumulation phase right now? And is there going to be another leg up here pretty soon as we see a launch? What's your thoughts about the token price right now?
Yeah, I really like where it is. As you can see, we've stabilized for quite some time now. Going back to really pretty much the whole year so far, it's been hovering right around 30, 40. The market cap, I don't know if I can see it right there. What is it right now? 138?
It's about $140 million circulating, but what scares me a little bit is this diluted, which is getting close to $2 billion.
Yeah.
When games launch like that, even Mavia today has gone up to over $1 billion, a fully diluted market cap. But that 140 million seems pretty reasonable right now, especially with 330,000 players right in their Discord. So, are you feeling pretty comfortable with that?
We'll have that many playing the game, but I tell you, the ones that do play, and it reminds me a lot of our DFK ecosystem. These community members are hardcore, man, and they're diehard. And a lot of these guys have been around since. I had a Jade pass, which they had a gold, silver, and Jade like over a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago. And, those were quite expensive. I had a Jade. There's guys that were in silver and gold even before me, and they're still running dungeons with the best of them. I mean, that's probably one of them right there. I'm sure everybody has seen where people have been posting screenshots of their winnings or their drops after each dungeon here in the last couple of days. Some of these guys are getting 150, 200 big time in one dungeon run, which is like 30 minutes or less. Now, granted, they have the top tier hourglasses, which are required to get those big time. So there is some work involved on making sure you have the best hourglasses circling around you, which gives you the best drop rates for the token in game. But this is just showing me that it is profitable and people are getting excited and that mania is starting back up, similar to what we saw a few months ago when the token came out.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited about this. I wanted to give everybody a quick overview, like I said, about BigTime because I'm totally new to it. I know that you have been playing for a while now, but this will give everybody a good primer into the game itself. I found this really helpful, but you'll see, guys, how intricate this game actually is. Kong and I will be right back after this quick little snip, and I'll put the link down below again in case you're interested in watching it again. But I thought this was a really good overview, so let's take a look at this.
So you've just entered the world of BigTime, and as a new player, you're a bit overwhelmed right now. Here are some things every beginner should know to help them through the early stages of the game. If you are anything like me, you probably rushed through the tutorial to get to the game. Trust me, I get it. It is dry. I'm just going to touch on the main things needed to get you started. As touched on in the tutorial, every player has their own metaverse. Your metaverse serves as a personal space to store items, craft gems, and even add NFT utilities to make it uniquely yours. If you want to switch pocket watches, simply go to your inventory and click the Timelines tab. Select the pocket watch you want to equip and double-click. Keep in mind, every time you switch pocket watches, your additional bag slots and equipment items stay in your previous watch. If you wish to transfer your items over in your new watch, simply unequip everything into your main inventory before switching. The vendors in BigTime are called Vendroids. There are 3 main types of Vendroids. The first one is the Decryptor. While playing the game, you will loot encrypted items which do not tell you the specific stats on them. Take these items to the decryptor, pay him some gold, and he will unlock the item to see what you get. The second Vendroid is the Artifact Fragment Trader. As you play, you'll collect artifact fragments. You are guaranteed 3 a day. Once you gather 10 artifact fragments, trade them with the Artifact Fragment Trader. In return, he'll give you random items such as gold, pocket watches, and sometimes even an NFT. The third and final vendor is a normal buy-sell vendor. Just make sure that you're selling your items to whichever vendor offers you the most money. I typically check all of the vendors in Watertown and see who's offering the most for a specific item and then sell everything to that one vendor. All equipment within BigTime has a tier and a rarity. Tier level is more important than rarity level. The tiers start from level 1 and progress upward. Within each tier, the rarities are common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, exalted, transcendent, exotic, and unique. While it's important to continuously upgrade your equipment with higher tiers and rarities as you level up, it is important that you compare your items with what you have equipped before switching. Every item uses RNG to generate the stats, so every item will be different. You can easily compare your items with what you currently have equipped by holding the left Alt key. If the item you are interested in equipping is highlighted in red, you will need to look at the requirements at the bottom to see what stats you're lacking so you can make those adjustments accordingly. There are many types of weapons you can use. If you use a one-handed weapon with a shield, you can block using Q. When you attack, you perform combos. The max combo is 4. When you left-click, a combo bar appears on your screen. You will see a red dot. When it turns green, you left-click again. When you right-click, you perform a heavy attack. When you perform a heavy attack, you end your current combo. Each weapon and each damaging skill displays colors next to the icon. Those colors show what type of damage they do. Red is normal health. Gold, purple, and blue represent different shield types mobs utilize. You can equip 2 different weapons to assist with breaking shields in combat. As you level up, you will unlock skill points and stat points. To use your points, open up your inventory. On the top of your screen, you will see a skill points tab. On this page, you can use your skill points to unlock the skills you want to use. If you are unable to unlock a skill, hover over that skill. On the bottom left, it will tell you the requirements needed to use that skill. Keep in mind, when you first start the game, your skill tree will be very, very basic. As you level up, use trainers, and get more gears for your pocket watch, more skills will unlock for you to use. If you open up your inventory, on the top right, you will see an Abilities tab. Inside, all of your abilities you have access to will be shown. Simply drag and drop the ability you want onto your skill bar. You can also drag consumables and portals onto your bar to utilize in combat. To interact with your map, simply click the M button on your keyboard. If you want to zoom in or out, simply use the plus or the minus on your number pad. The fastest way to travel in the open world is by utilizing waypoints. Waypoints show up as a flag icon on your map. You need to interact with each waypoint initially to activate it. Once you have unlocked all the waypoints, you can fast travel between each waypoint for some gold. There are many types of dungeon portals and variations in the game. The main 3 types of portals you will use are purple, green, and gold. Portals spawn at random locations throughout the map. When you go to enter a dungeon, it will show a level range. Every level range is varied portal to portal. However, there are broad ranges of levels depending on the biome you're in. The Red Forest spawns level ranges from 1 to 22 and progressively gets higher in the level the more north you go. The Wastelands spawn portals ranging from 18 to 35. No Man's Land ranges from 28 to 40. Icy Lands range from levels 33 to 44, and Icy Castle ranges from 40 to 48. Level 48 is the highest level currently available in the pre-beta phase. If you want access to the map, make sure you check out Vast Impact Gaming, the link will be on the description below. When selecting a portal, be aware that every portal has a time limit before it disappears. The purple and green portals are your normal dungeons and are free to enter. Every dungeon drops equipment, gold, premium currencies, crafting materials, time crystals, pocket watches, big time tokens, and has a chance to drop an NFT cosmetic at any time. If you are feeling really adventurous, you can graduate to gold portals, which are prestige portals. Prestige portals are the most exciting portals within Big Time. They have a higher drop rate, however, they will cost you a fee to enter. Typically, the price is Big Time tokens or time crystals. For the most experience for leveling, you want to have the mobs be within 5 levels of your current pocket watch. So make sure you pick your portals wisely. Listen, Big Time is not the game to play alone. If you're looking for access to the game or a community of gamers to play with, look no further than the Discord link down below in the description. I am the guild leader of MetFi, and we have...
So, Kong, what I found from that incredible tutorial was that Big Time is insanely in depth, from the pocket watches to the items to the skill tree to everything involved with it. I mean, this game is freaking insane, man. Give us your overview. Guide us through. Show us what to do.
Yeah, so that video was awesome, by the way. Shout out to the guy who put that out, because that's the newest of the new. So it's got all the new stuff in it you need to know. He touched on every little thing that's, important and starting out. So that was great, man. That saved so much time on explaining. But yeah, as you can see, KP, the economy and the depth of this game, a lot of big brains. Reminds me of another project that I love to death. So the parallels in these two, are kind of spooky. I love what they're doing here. I love the thought that's gone in behind being able to switch these pocket watches. And if you don't want to play with your time warrior, who is like the tank, you can switch it up and play with the Chronomancer, who is the distance guy to keep your distance. Or if you want to be the healer, all these things you can do in game in real time, building up their inventories. Have to have certain stat points to put on certain equipment. I mean, all these cool concepts that it's right down my alley.
Dang, man, this thing looks so intense. I love it too. I mean, you're referencing DeFi Kingdoms, which I know we love, and that's why when it got into this, and I talked to Honest last week, he's like, you got to talk to Kong because he's doing cool things inside of Big Time. He's crafting all these items, and I use the items to go into the dungeons, and I watched his live stream the other day, and he was like running through a dungeon and killing things and getting loot, and I was like, okay, I got to check this out because, yeah, I feel like, this is like the polished 3D world of, MMORPGs that I'm like, wow, this is super cool. I mean, this is like an immersive open world concept, whereas in DFK right now we've got like our little map, but this is just so intense just to see like all of the scenery, all of the stuff that's going on. I was just like, wow, man, these things are nuts. I mean, you could probably sit here and play this 24/7 365, but how long do you typically play it? When you go in here and play Big Time right now, are you playing for a couple of hours at a time, a couple of minutes? What do you typically do in a day?
Sure. So usually I'm more on the economy side of crafting, which doesn't take quite as much time as running dungeons. Some of these guys, they will run dungeons literally all day, stream on Twitch for 8, 9, 10 hours at a time. You can go on Twitch at any time, and there's like over 100 people live streaming this game. So that in itself is very bullish to me. But just the game loop is extraordinary. So like I craft hourglasses mainly, and you need hourglasses to get big time drops in dungeons. So that's one part of the game loop. You got to have those guys crafting the hourglasses. The higher the rarity, the better the drop rate. And then there's the whole material side of what's needed to craft those hourglasses and all the different mats required. And if you're not doing hourglasses and you want to do armor or weapons in your forge, you could do that as well. And those take different mats. So that's really what piques my interest, is the crafting and the depth of the loop of the game.
Wow, that is
and this
super
is a
cool.
prestige pearl right here, just so you know. So the difference in that purple one I was just at, that one over there, that one is basically a free dungeon. The drops aren't quite as good, right? So because you don't have to pay to enter. These are the prestige portals, and like that guy in that video is just showing, there's the requirements to enter that particular portal. Everyone is different. So as you see that little green check mark there, you've got to have at least 3 cosmetics between uncommon to unique on you to even enter the portal. So, and then
That's
also at the
interesting.
bottom, there's a little single entry fee of 8 big time there. I think they're still trying to balance, making sure, you get back what you put in to go in the portal. But if you're going, this game's meant to be played with friends. So if I was to go in there and die, and get knocked down, my friends aren't there to revive me, right? And it
Right.
basically just says you are dead, game over. So I would lose those 8 big time. But if I got 5 other of my buddies with me and they all paid as well to get in and play the dungeon, well, the drop rates are going to be better. And when you get knocked, your guys there to revive you and get you to the boss. So
That's great. I love that kind of that group mentality, and I'm just checking out the level 9 to 14. That seems pretty reasonable. So 8 big time to get in at these prices, it'd be like $2.50, and then when you get done with this dungeon, assuming that you make it through, you get items that are going to be well worth it. Are they going to be 10x, 20x what you paid to get in there?
that's right. So this is a brand new mechanic that they just launched on this latest update, like this specific thing you're looking at right now. So very new, like only a couple weeks old. I think to really get your money's worth, you have to have your hourglasses equipped, right? So here's the big thing: you got to have hourglasses. So you go into your inventory, and you either can buy these off the market or you can craft them. So you equip these hourglasses onto you. I have rares. I really need 5, but I only have 4. So now you see them hovering around me.
Uh-huh.
So that's how you collect the big time in game and get the better drops. Basically, every one you have equipped and every higher rarity is a better drop rate. So you get more tokens in game. So if you don't have any equipped, you're not going to probably get any big time drops. You got 5 legendary equipped, you're going to be getting drops like crazy, like some of these guys you've been seeing posting screenshots.
Okay.
But that's one of
So
the
the
mechanics.
so those hourglasses, you've got to get mats to craft those, and when you craft them, they stay on your guy for a while. How long do they usually stay before they're gone?
Yep, good question. So you actually fill them with sand yourself, or you can buy them and with already preloaded with sand. So these, for example, that I have, you can see that they have 6 hours left on this one, 7 on that one, 6 and 7. So as you're in game, that's running down in real time. Figure about 15, 20 minutes per dungeon, maybe longer if you don't have a full party. And that's kind of how filling them up works. You can do like a short fill. I can show you that here in a minute when we go in the meta. But yeah, that's basically what it is. You fill them up, or you buy ones that are already pre-filled, and then you put them on and use them in game to get the drops. And the drops can be anything from materials, time crystals, big time, or weapons, armor, things of that nature.
Gotcha. So really the material sink inside the game is creating these hourglasses, and each person needs to create, looks like 5 hourglasses in order to be able to run through the game for a couple of hours, if not, 6 to 8 hours at a time. And then, so you're going to have your material crafters, like you, that are crafting these hourglasses and then selling them off in the marketplace to dungeon crawlers who just want to go out there and crawl the dungeons. Am I right?
That's exactly right. Yep. And that's
Okay.
that's the loop. And same thing, not just the hourglasses, with the armor and stuff too. Because now, and then what they're thinking in the future, this isn't for sure, but right now there's only cosmetic utility. It's just like a visage kind of in DeFi Kingdoms. It's just to look at. But people are anticipating in the future, maybe when launch gets here, these items are going to have even more utility, give you boosts in the game, different bonuses, which will obviously increase the value of the items and the armories and forges that are used to craft.
Love it. Yeah, these in-game items are really intense. I mean, when I was going through the website with Honest the other day, and I saw all the different varieties of weapons that you can craft, the swords and everything, and as you're going up, he said you're taking like 3 commons and burning them together to make an uncommon, and then 3 uncommons to make a rare. Kind of making it up the level like that. What's the highest crafting that you've done so far? Have you crafted anything that's just amazing?
Bro, it takes so much time once you get up to the rare, epic, legendary, even levels, because just think of it as a pyramid. You got to have that foundation of all these commons to get to the uncommon, and then 3 uncommons to get to the rare. So you can imagine by the time you try to get up to epic, so many common hourglasses or armor or forges involved. and then everything takes a little bit different time to craft. So as you craft up in rarity, things take longer to get done, of course. So it's kind of a step up effect on each one. Best I've ever done. I was actually crafting an hourglass, an epic hourglass. It was my first epic hourglass, I think, and there's a bonus roll you can get on these workshops. Well, I got a bonus that gives you the next rarity up. So instead of crafting that rare, I rolled the bonus roll as the next rarity. So I did get the epic, sold it, put it back into the game, bought more big time. Everything is designed, as you'll see, is to burn big time. And that's another one of these big brain economy things these guys really thought out, because they get so much utility in game to use the item and not sell it.
Yeah, that's great. I love all of the intricacies that go into it, and especially the RNG, right? Because you said you're trying to craft that rare item, and then you just hit that extra bonus RNG roll that hits you the epic item. And when you ended up selling that epic item, can you give us an idea on what it actually sold for? Did it sell for like, how much big time did you make off of it?
Yeah, sure. So let's just see if I can look real quick without losing this stuff. So marketplace is right here. And let's just go to Hourglass real quick and just see what they're going for. So here they all are. Commons. I actually gave to Honest one because I wanted him to have one because he was playing the game. He was like one of the first people in our community to come over. So I was like, here, man, take this common Hourglass. So they're $12. Uncommons 41. Rares are 136 currently. And then epics are going for 455. So
wow, nice.
Yeah,
so $455.
Like they used to show us the transaction history in the marketplace. They cut that out because I don't know exactly why. I don't know if somebody was gaming the system, but yeah, these things sell a lot very frequently. I don't know about that legendary for 1409, but that's what those guys that are showing those screenshots on X post about how many big time, they're running with like 4 or 5 of those. So
wow.
It's crazy. Now they probably, I'm sure, didn't pay that. Most of those guys probably crafted them themselves early on. But look at this mythic down here.
Wow, $5,000 for a mythic hourglass, and you can run with 5 of those.
Yes.
Oh my God. So that could be a $25,000 dungeon run that you're going through. My God, $25,000. Wow. So there's some big time players in here, right? That are playing for big buku money, right?
Yeah, a lot of these guys, like I said, have been here since gold. We're one of the first people in, and they have the space, aka land. It's called space here. That's really what gives you all the different ways to connect your workshops, and you get cracked hourglass drops every 48 hours into that space. It's basically airdrops coming into your space every 48 hours. You take those cracked hourglasses, not regular, they're cracked, and you put those in your time warden. He breaks them down in about 6 hours, pops out about 15 to 22 big time. So
okay.
I usually get about 100, $150 every couple days just in drops because I've got like 11 spaces. But some of these guys been collecting space during the whole bear, right? To where I kind of took my eye off the prize and went 100% DFK for quite a while and dropped the ball with these guys were buying cheap space the whole time, right? So once the token came out, I was like, oh shit, I got to get back in. And so a lot of these guys have like 100 spaces. So just crazy, so you can imagine the big time that they're generating with 100 spaces that are dropping every 2 days.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So that's some great alpha Kong. I mean, accumulate during the bear, right? Like we know when prices are low, get what you can, because once you start to get into the bull run, we're seeing these valuations. I mean, we're seeing the Mavia token now at over $1 billion. We're seeing the fully diluted big time value now getting close to $2 billion. But, if you've got these projects that are still in their infant stages and you can get in there and you can see the potential here, my gosh, this thing is just, it's taken off. And I've seen so many streamers and so many content creators creating content around big time, but I was like, oh, it's in beta. What are you going to get from it? But now looking at the actual in-game economy, that's nuts. I mean, do you think a person could come in here? What would be the minimum investment you would want to get involved with so that you could make a couple bucks each day?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just actually pulling up the rental market screen here because I wanted to show, that this is a valid option, and a lot of people do utilize this that are new to the game just to kind of cut their teeth, that don't want to drop, a $500 or a grand or whatever before they really know what they're doing. So you can come in here. I'm trying to get to some. This is not, I shouldn't have done by price, but you can get like a space, a time warden, an armory, a forge, all in a bundle for like say $250. Put them all in your meta because everybody gets their own personal meta for free, and then go to town and there you go. These are some of the little bit more expensive, $1,000. These time wardens, just so you know, they start at like common time wardens right now, man, $700
Wow.
to buy one.
Man, these values are going up so dramatically. I mean, this is kind of nuts to see. Like, I was shocked too at how Mavia Land just appreciated overnight, and 3-4x. And I always forget that NFTs are, the big thing when people can come in here. They might see something they like and just buy it because it looks cool. But this, some of the things that I saw when you were up there on the top were things that were selling for $90,000 or $100,000. I mean, that's the kind of crazy. And this is beta, right? I mean, we're not even in the main game yet.
That's the thing, man. And I've got a business partner in this venture, and we always are talking to each other about things, and about the hype and where we are with everything. And it's like it's just so early still, man. I have to just pinch myself sometimes and remember that the game isn't even available yet to everybody. The only way you can play is with an invite code. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like, 6 months from now when, hype is continuing to build in traditional space. People are starting to get a little bit more money in their pocket. Things seem to be all being timed perfectly here for a big upcoming run. But so here's a good example. This is a $460. You get 2 epic medium spaces, and every 2 days those will drop cracked hourglasses. There is no; these are only forges, so you would need to find one that also has a time warden, so you could break down those cracked hourglasses every 48 hours when they drop, and turn those into big time, and you could use that big time to create cosmetics with these forges here. Armor, weapons, or you can just sell the big time outright on, Uniswap or wherever you want to.
Awesome. So when it says rent now, are you renting this for a certain amount of time, or are you buying it?
Yeah, my apologies. So it's a 30-day rental for this particular one for 460. Um, Obviously, whatever you do with those NFTs, crafting wise, you keep at the end. You just can't make sure that, let's just say you rented it right now, at this time a month from now, if there is something in there crafting, it's going to take it from you and you're not going to get credit for it. So you just got to make sure before your 30 days is over, whatever you have crafting finishes before that time frame.
Okay. So if you rented it for $460 for 30 days, what do you think you could actually pull out of it? I mean, if you were just taking everything that you crafted and sold it off, would you be able to make, $1,000, $1,500 or
torches there, man? So the key thing is you can only craft up to the rarity of the workshop that you have, right? So you want to make sure you got like an epic, but those epic items, you could probably double up easily in a 30-day time frame off this bundle. I would say like
That's
eight,
nice.
$900, man, with the materials. Cause yeah, those drops you have to figure that's 2 spaces. You're going to get 15 drops of cracked hourglasses. And that's a significant amount of big time. I can show you, I've got a spreadsheet here. I can kind of show you to help you visualize a little bit.
Sure. So when it comes to this is somebody who got in the game early. They bought these items and now they're just renting them out because they don't want to spend time inside the game anymore. And they're just thinking, okay, I got these items now, and every 30 days I'm going to collect $460 from them, and hopefully the value is going to appreciate over time. Next month I'll rent them out for $500. Next month I'll rent them out for $600. And is that typically the game loop?
That's right. Or maybe they have so much, they have so many, that they can't get around to working them all in their meta. So they're renting this wing out or whatever. Or maybe they're on vacation right now and they can't be around their computer. So they're going to rent them out, make some passive income while they're out of town. A lot of different reasons, but these do get worked pretty well.
These in-game economies are awesome, man. I just love this. That's what I was hoping to do with my Mavia land as well, as rent it out over time. Hopefully I can make $460. I wasn't expecting to make that much from it, but it'd be nice if these in-game items had so much value to them that people saw they could double their money if they rented these things out for a month or two and used them inside the game. That's awesome.
Okay,
So you've
so
been
here we go.
tracking,
This is
yeah,
like
you've been
every
tracking a
2
lot of
days
this.
I do this little deal, KP. So here's I had 15 cracked hourglasses drop that day, 16 that day, 19, 14, and then here's the value of them: $88, 70, 71, 88. So that's just big time dropping straight into my space every 2 days there.
That's great. So when you got started with this and you're getting these $70, $80 drops each day, how much did you have to invest to get to this point where you've got the hourglasses dropping each day and you're making some money from it?
Yeah, I'd say the initial investment was probably like early, before we even had the space. I mean, before we even had the token and any of this stuff was even available, probably like 5 grand,
Okay.
the
Okay.
initial
But
investment. And I probably since then, maybe another 5 to 10 total. So probably about 15 in, around that ballpark area.
and then you're getting about, looks like 75-ish each 3, 4 days here.
Yeah, that's just off the big time. Now I'm turning around and putting that right back into the game because, for example, so to craft a common sword, you got to have 50 big time to do that task, along
Okay.
with other materials. So 3 common swords, that's 150 big time. To get the uncommon, it bumps up. So instead of 50, you need 100 big time now to do an uncommon. So
Gotcha.
three $50 installments for the 3 commons, now 150 to make the uncommon, then 3 uncommons to make the rare. So you can, and then of course it goes, the rare is 200 big time instead of 150. So everything
Right.
increases as the rarity increases. Just to
Right.
give you an idea. So I spend the majority of all my drop big time going right back into the game so I can stay on that leaderboard, which is my main focus right now, is to make sure I'm in that 25,000 tier at the end of March.
That's right. Do you want to go through that a little bit right now and give people an idea on what the
Absolutely.
actual rewards look like? Because I played that video at the very beginning and that showed some of the huge prize pools that these people are up for. But what are you going for? What are you shooting for in this next prize pool? I mean, I know that you talked to me a little bit about it beforehand, but give people an idea how much you can win on a monthly basis.
Yeah. So, like I said, some of the big dogs, hundreds of thousands of big time, up to 1 million for first place. But from the rank 100 to rank 300, 25,000 big time for everybody from
Nice.
the rank 100 to 3. And then from 301, I think, to 1,000 is, I think, 8,000 big time. And
Okay.
how it drops is, so there's not too much selling pressure, is they break it into 16 different weeks. So the people that won leaderboard 1 and leaderboard 2, they're currently being paid out every Friday in their allocation of big time. That way, it's not too much sell pressure. And then this leaderboard 3, once it's completed, it'll be that same system.
Gotcha. Cool. That makes a whole lot of sense because that's going to keep people in the game then for the next 16 weeks just so they can come back and collect, right?
That's correct. Yep. And then just like the guy said in that intro video, everybody gets this kind of like little home room here. So if you just get an invite code and you play and you'll get this at least. You hit O and you come in here and you can stash some stuff in there. Too Honest puts a lot of his stuff in here that he can't carry on his person, because once you get larger sacks like this, you can carry a lot more stuff, but even I still have to use it. But that's some of the stuff over here on the left, what I have in there: a bunch of potions and stuff, a couple of pocket watches. That's where you upgrade your weapon. You can put your weapon in there and put like a ruby or something on it, and it gives your weapon a boost. Um,
Nice.
but then I'll go through here. So you can see, here's my meta. You can see the map right there. I just pulled up. Kind
Hmm.
of hard to see through all that lettering and all those objectives, but that's what I'm working with, man. So I got this first room here where I have all my uncommon hourglasses. You see the green on the map there,
Right.
the little green hourglasses. And then right there, see right there, it shows the time remaining, solar time warden. So I
Hmm.
don't have to go in there and actually, click on him. It just shows me how much time he's got left. If I want to, I
Wow.
can. And then this is where you craft your hourglasses, or you can recharge them, like I was telling you about earlier. Put sand in them,
Uh-huh.
or you can dismantle the cracked ones that drop into the space. And this is, he'll spit out big time for you. So that's a time warden. And here's all my stuff. So they're running like like a little bonus thing on the leaderboard. If you buy 10 rare items, you get these bonus points. So I kind of went crazy. I got me a specimen jar here, an easel over here.
That's so
Um,
cool. I love
I
it. So
mean,
you have all this furniture too. You're talking about that on the last stream where you can decorate your space and make it really cool. And people have these tournaments or these challenges where they show off their space, and the top spaces get rewards as well, right?
yeah, man, it's just so. Some of these decorations are like big T-Rex skeletons, and guys will put them in the middle of this room, or like big Egyptian monoliths, and so it's definitely cool. All those are obviously just buy them on the marketplace, pretty reasonable price. Um, there's
So
another
when you're buying
space.
these spaces now, and you're you keep increasing your spaces, which I guess you could equate to land in certain games.
Yep.
It just gives you the ability to craft more and to make more items and to make better items and things. So the more spaces that you get, the better items you can craft, the more you can sell them for. Is that basic idea?
Basically, the real reason for the space is because it gives you these doors, right? And these doors are what you connect the workshops to. The three
Okay.
workshops are hourglasses, time wardens, forges, and armories. So those are the three different kinds of workshops. The time warden makes the hourglasses, the forges make the weapons, and the armories make the armor, of course. So yeah,
Nice.
that's what the space is good for, is connecting those, and then obviously every 2 days those drops I was mentioning, to get that big time and with the cracked hourglass drops. So the bigger your space, the more stuff you can craft, the higher you can get on the leaderboard, the more you can get that reward at the end. And
That's
here's
so
my
cool.
transcendent, man. This is my baby right here, bro. So there's only like 450 of these in the game, KP, and
Wow.
prices have gone down significantly since the last one that sold. But the last one of these that sold, man, that I saw before they took the transaction history down, 13K
Wow. $13,000 for this?
for that one transcendent armory, bro. Now they've gone down. The ones priced right now are priced at like 8 grand, and they're not
Uh-huh.
selling. But I think once the mania comes back and the full game launches, that's going to be a pretty penny, my friend. I'm really happy that. So I got that in just a random drop, man. They were selling like $60 spring mystery boxes, and I just bought like 7 or 8 of them when they were dirt cheap, like at $60 over a year
Uh,
ago. And like I said, I forgot and got completely in depth in DFK. And I came back and opened one up, man, and that thing fell out of there.
wow. So that's like a transcend. Is transcendent the highest level in the game, or is there one more?
So you got Exalted, which I happen to have an Armory and a Forge that are both Exalted right here. And then you got Transcendent, and then Unique. I think there might be one in between there. Exotic, I believe,
Okay.
and then the Unique. But there's Uniques were only meant to. I won't keep going too long, but the way it was designed was that the Unique was supposed to be something that was a group effort, that like multiple guys in a guild all contributed tons of those lower level items to craft up Unique. Well, you got one or two whales that have done it on their own over the
Oh my
last few
gosh.
months. So obviously the guy who won the million last month, he crafted the first Unique ever in the game. And then another guy that I watch on Twitch, he's a whale. His name's Whale D Shark. He just crafted the second Unique item ever crafted in the game like 2 days ago. But these guys, I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars, man, like crazy.
Wow. Wow, Kong, that's insane, man. I mean, when I look at these games and I think, geez, this is fun. It looks so cool. I love the concept. I love the open, the open world portion to it. But then I start to think like, man, these guys are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars inside this game. And, I never really got into World of Warcraft too much. I played a couple of times, and I thought, well, I'm never going to get up to some of these guys that have got these, level 100 characters that are, spent already tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars building them up over time. Is there a way that the small players can still get in, have fun, and not have to feel like they're competing against these whales that have these unique items?
Of course, man. I mean, these guys that are running these dungeons, they aren't dealing with any of that. They're just having fun, grinding, playing the game, hanging out with their friends, you know, collecting big time in the process. So we also have to have that part of the ecosystem for everything in the crafting side to work. So that's another thing I love is the balance that these guys have put together. I think you do have to have a couple of those big whales in the game to, keep fueling everything and keep things moving. But at the same time, there's all different tiers of players, and you could come in here like Too Honest is the perfect example. I don't think he's invested a dollar into the game, and he's having a great time.
Yeah. That's the nice thing too about these free to play games, because you can go in there, you can have a good time, you can try it out, see if you like it, and then if you do, go out there and spend a couple of bucks, right? If you can start with that renting that that unique set that you just said for $460, and maybe you make, $800 at the end of the month, and then you take that $300 and you buy a couple more in-game items. But those game loops are the ones that I'm excited about, the ones that keep people coming back, because you've still got that opportunity. You can get in for a little bit, you can build your way up. I just always, when I see those whales in there, it scares me, because I'm like, okay, that guy's going to win everything, because he's got all the best items, he's got all the best heroes, he's got all the best whatever it is inside the game. And I'm just like, as long as people can feel like they have a fighting chance or they can make some money with their time, they're going to go out there and do it. That's why I think there's probably those 300,000 people in Discord, right?
That's right. And I mean, like I said a few minutes ago, I'm trying to compete in this top 300 on this leaderboard, and it's super tough. And you see what I have, and it's even hard for me to kind of stay in there. But, from rank 300 to rank 1,000, that's attainable for most people without having to invest a lot. And, that's a 8,000 big time payout here in about
Wow.
5 weeks, for that person potentially. So, and that's just for going in there, playing the game, running dungeons, doing portals, all those things stack up points towards that leaderboard. So
that's great, man. I feel like, when you've got those rewards that are coming in, and people feel like their time is valuable, right? They're going out there and they're doing these tasks inside games, and they're actually feeling like they're getting rewarded for it. That was the thing that kind of bugged me when it came to the old Web 2 games, is that you would go and play for 2-3 hours every night, and you'd build up your base, or you'd build up your your hero or whatever you were working on, and then at the end of the day, I just look back on, I spent years playing these games and building up the best thing I possibly could, and it was fun, made you feel good. But when you turn that game off, or when you got rid of it, it was like, damn, all that time and effort's gone. But with games like this, you've got items, you can rent them out. Just like you said, you go on vacation for a month, rent out your stuff, and make a little bit of extra cash from it. So that's what I think, when people get into these things, they're really going to start to take off. And we're just starting to see the beginning of the bull. I mean, what are you most excited about here as we head into we're actually in February now, but as we get later into 2024 and beyond, what are you most excited about in this market?
Yeah, so just in general, I just got a feeling, KP, that we've got in the real world, there's going to be rate cuts coming soon, and I feel like that's the big pivoting point for just the complete bull to kick off. Is they start doing some printing, they start lowering some rates. We got an election on the horizon. All these things are going to put a little bit more money in everybody's pocket, and I'm starting to get vibes of how things were 4 years ago. When all kind of different things were happening all at once, and then all of a sudden it was just moonshot, man. So I think in the next 6 months, I'm just focused on this particular project, DFK, one or two other things that I'm in, and trying not to take my eye off of that. I had a big problem last cycle of trying to do everything all at once because everything looked so cool and I wanted to have my hands in it all. Well, you just need to focus on the few things you're good at and stay in your lane. My advice to myself. So
that's great advice, Kong. Everybody should pay attention too, because the market is green today, guys. But look at the number one token up there is Bonk. So I mean, if you've got your money in a meme coin, you're making a lot of cash today. But there are so many projects out there, right, Kong? There's thousands and thousands of coins to get involved with. But pick three, guys. Pick three that you really feel confident about, and focus on those projects. Focus on the communities, the teams that are building them. You know what's going into them, because you're going to see the bonks of the world that come in and go up 1,000% and go down 1,000%. Your money's going to go up and down and all around. And I watched so many people in the last cycle buy Dogecoin and buy Shiba Inu and buy all these crappy things, and they might have made a little bit of money from it, and they probably did. But at the end of the day, it's just going to go back down. It's just a big, people will buy, people will sell. But when you got actual real world utility, like you've got BigTime, you've got DFK, you've got several other projects out there. One of the ones I wanted to mention, because I know you're going to be there, is the IFC coming up here. I mean, I'm so excited about the karate. The karate token has been pumping, right? It's up to 0.6%, but I mean, it's already gone up 6x since I first got into it. I know you're headed down to Mexico City. Do you have some karate tokens?
Oh, of course, man. I've got quite a few, and I'm going to be betting them all the whole time I'm there. So yeah, it's I think the upside potential for karate, like you said, it had that initial run up, and it's been kind of consolidating where it has for the last month or so. But a lot of potential here, man. It's so many people getting behind this. It's just one big name fighter away from completely moonshot, man. I mean, it's a good project, I believe.
It's a great project. And the thing is, guys, is that this is a real world company, a real world corporation. I mean, this is something that I think everybody wants to do, right? Go to a fight and get out your cell phone and be able to bet on those fighters right there and watch them. And then you collect your money. Even if you lose, you don't lose. That's the best part, is up only gaming. I mean, this is going to catch on like wildfire. I just see this being like incredibly huge, because there's no sell pressure, right? Why would you ever sell a token if you can't lose it? There's no real reason to. People are going to be buying more and more.
There's no reason. Do you know, KP? I guess I should probably ask Grady. How long has the token been out?
Not very long. In fact, you heard on Crypto Banter the other day, they had a couple of VCs on there that said, God, I'm so disappointed I passed on the round, the financing round for Karate Token. They're like, I had a chance to get in pre-market, and they could have got in for a fraction of a cent. And these are VCs now that are like, damn, I wish I would have got in when it was like 0.0001 or whatever, the VCs could have bought in at. But yeah, we're already starting to see this catch on. And when we were in Vegas and just watching, the crowd get into it and the production quality and everything else, I was just like, okay, this is what it's all about. And you don't have to like MMA, you don't have to like fighting sports, you don't have to like anything. You could just buy the karate token and watch it. But for those of us that do, I'm just like, wow, to own a couple million karate tokens right now and to be able to make, 10, 20,000 on each fight. You're just, even if you just bet and you were to not, only win a couple of them, you're still increasing your karate by 2%, 5%, 10% every single fight. And if they put on 10 or 12 of these every year, you're just getting an extra 100%. So you're actually 2xing your karate tokens while the value continues to go up. I was just like, this is a great concept.
Yeah, and they're doing all these cool promotions, man. Real quick, I don't know if you saw it today, Only LARPing did put something out where if you bet in that karate kickback thing that was a couple weeks ago, and if you're like in the top part of the leaderboard, they're entering you for a chance to win a free flight and room in Mexico City in 2 weeks. So that is like just another cool incentive. I think the company behind karate saw that the token did so well when they launched it out, and I'm sure they're going to continue to try to promote it because it's doing so well and catching on.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I feel like the time is here. We've seen UFC blow up right over the last 10, 15 years, and everybody loves the Ultimate Fighting Challenge, and it's a show. I mean, it's bigger than big right now, billions and billions of dollars. And right now we all have this chance to get in almost on the ground floor of karate and watch it grow, and just watch these fights as they continue to develop, and people are getting excited about them. You got the Joe Rogans of the world talking about it, everybody else as well. But yeah, I just think of like these are the great things in crypto that you can do where you've got this betting token. I always look at it like if I was to go to the MGM in Las Vegas and bet on a fight, I would put my $100 down, right? And if I won, I might get $150, you know, but then I'd take my ticket and I'm going to go cash it out and I'm going to get it back into USD and go, you know, go to dinner or whatever. But when I get a karate token, I don't have any inclination of going and selling it because I just want to bet on the next fight and make more and bet on the next fight. And then when people come into the next fight, they're downloading the mobile app and they're buying themselves some karate tokens so they can bet on the fighters while they're there. So it just continues to like accumulate more and more users and more tokens. And I just think it's got a great, bright future in my opinion.
I mean, if you know you can't lose any when you're betting on it, and you know there will always be another event coming on the horizon, you know, it's like just let it sit there in your wallet, you know, just keep betting.
Definitely. I'm excited for you, man, when you're going to be down there with Grady. We're definitely going to be watching that here. I've got a couple of other videos coming up, and, you know, I've got Kupo coming on Monday. I'm super excited about him. He's going to be talking about crafting inside of DFK. We're excited when we get to that crafting stage. We're not there yet, but we do have a couple of things coming up on the horizon. I'm also hoping to get Honest, too, to do some dungeon crawling in big time at some point so we can go through and maybe go over to Kong's market and buy some hourglasses and then head into the dungeon and do some crawling there. So if you guys haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and make sure that you get out there and you know, support what everybody's doing in the Web3 space. There's so much going on, guys. There's so much happening. So many big things that are, you know, coming on the horizon. Look at those tokens. I mean, I think you're exactly right, Kong. We've got nothing but a very positive. I mean, there's always those black swan events. I'm hoping that there's going to be no COVID that hits, but even when COVID hits, guys, the government throws money at the economy because it doesn't want things to evaporate, doesn't want the stock market to go down. It doesn't want people to feel like they're losing out. And what happens when they throw money at the economy? Wow, the green, right? The markets go up.
We got an election coming, and they want people out, and they want people out feeling good. And the way to do that is to make sure they got money in their pocket. So
definitely. Got to have a little change in your pocket to make everybody feel good so that they get out there and vote for their politicians and they get back in the office for 4 years. Anyway, brother, it was awesome having you on. I wanted to give you the last word. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do, whatever you're excited about, share it with the community.
Absolutely. So, hey, I just want to tell everybody, you know, there's so many awesome projects out there. I know sometimes it can be easy to stay in your lane and do that one thing that you know so well, but you know, so many great options and opportunities right now. I've never seen a more exciting time in Web3 gaming than right here, right now. And, you know, I just behoove you guys to get out there and try to take advantage of it and get over here in big time with me and KP and Two Honest, and let's run some dungeons, baby.
Yeah, I love it. If you or someone you know is developing a Web3 project and would like to come on the show, please leave a comment down below or direct message me on Twitter. We can set up a time and talk about your project and how you're changing the world and allowing people to own their own digital assets on the blockchain. Until next time, here's another video that I'm sure you're going to love, and let's all help build a more decentralized world together. Thanks for watching.